Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Girl Next Door podcast. I keep almost calling it the Sad Girls podcast just because of Jarvis's Sad Boys podcast, which is obviously very wrong and very incorrect. But let me switch to just chatting. So, this is probably the most stressed I've been before a stream. I don't know if anybody saw any of the very panicked tweets I had tweeted earlier. They might not even be up anymore after this, I don't know, because I was like freaking out, and I shouldn't have my phone on me if I'm freaking out. Streamlabs decided it wanted to crash 3 times before I started stream, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm gonna be late. It wasn't letting me fix my overlay because I was trying to get window capture to work, because we're going to be doing some tier lists today. Because it's so silly because I wanted today to be like a low effort day. Maybe not low, well, actually no, I'll say low effort. I'll be transparent about it. I'm pretty low energy, and it was kind of difficult to think of something really complicated, and that is because story time. I was up very late last night, and then up early this morning trying to figure out a good screen mirror for my phone, because I wanted to maybe try bringing some mobile games to this channel. Just because I play so much Genshin and Wild Rift and Legends of Runeterra anyway on my phone, then I'm just like, hey, you know what, maybe it's a cute thing to have on in the background while I just like talk, and it can just be a sort of low stakes kind of game. I know people probably don't think of that with Wild Rift, but I don't play ranked. Like I'm on a ranked, which means I'm unbothered. So I was just fully okay with at least trying that. It took so long to find a screen mirroring program that would work for my Mac or from an iPhone, because sadly, Streamlabs does have a function for mobile streaming for Android. It does not have one currently, anyway, to my knowledge, for iPhone. So I had to go through outside apps. A lot of them advertise themselves as free when they're nothing of the sort. They only let you stream for 20 minutes at a time unless you do like their premium package, which is then 40 minutes at a time for one of them. And then there's the year-long package, which is unlimited. And I'm just like, I don't think I'm gonna be gaming that much for that to be like worth it. I did do the trial for a couple of them, but I also ended up just finding some nice free ones, and like they work great for mirroring my phone. Like on the computer, there's like very little latency. There isn't as many audio issues as I was worried that there was going to be. I mean, I was worried that it just wasn't going to have audio, period. I thought it was just going to be like a pure screen mirroring and nothing else. It wasn't going to have like the audio connected to it, but it was fine. So I was like, great, so I can finally bring this to stream. I didn't feel like testing it last night because at that point it was I think it was like 3 a.m. which is definitely not good for my mental health. But then I got up early this morning. I was like, okay, well, nobody is going to be around if I stream right now. I can do a sneaky little test stream to see if this looks good on stream and like how this will run. Because like, it could run games okay like offline or whatever, but I've never tried to do window capturing for it for stream in Streamlabs, and it was not good. It was very bad. Again, the game ran fine, audio sounded fine, but the video was so choppy, it was stuttering so much. It was just like, it was unwatchable, and I was like, I don't want to subject anybody to that just because I'm having a low effort day. But it sucks because like I got really excited over it. I was like super stoked to bring honestly just to bring Genshin, just because like the new update came out. I've already I'm already working towards my polls. I'm not super optimistic about it. Um, because I have 5 stars at this point. I've been playing for a little over a month now, so like I get that I'm not really gonna have a whole lot starting off unless I'm like whaling, and like I refuse to throw any money at this game. I've been pretty good at not doing that. I mean, I say pretty good as if like I've like slipped up. I haven't. I've spent $0 on this game, and I don't see myself doing that in the future anyway, because I do like the characters that I have. I think my current party, which is Sucrose, Fischl, Xiangling, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, and Barbara. But sometimes I switch Xiangling out for Bennett. So I really like that party. It's, you know, and I have other characters too. Like I like is it Diona? I should probably be figuring out people's names before I talk about them. I mean, I'm pretty new to the game, so it's I don't blame myself for not really remember everything so far, but I don't know. I was like I wasn't originally gonna try to get Ayato, but I played his test trial earlier today, like off stream, and he's really fucking fun. So I was like, shit, am I actually gonna be like tryharding this now? Just farm our primo gems and everything. I just might, as much as I'm really interested in her name Yalan. I don't know how her name is pronounced, but she's like the Hydro Archer with like step on me energy, and I'm obsessed with her, and I would love to have her in my party, even though I already have a bow character, and having a bow character on mobile is not fun. That's kind of besides the point. Basically, I was very disappointed that it didn't work out. I thought maybe restarting my computer, I'd give it like one last shot, and then it took an hour for me to turn my computer back on. Like, it stuck me in the loading screen, like the startup screen, for so long. It was so painful. When I did finally get in, it wouldn't let me open up any of my applications for 40 minutes. I'm like, what is going on with my computer? I know it's old and it's not great, but like, it's never been that shitty before. So I was really scared that it's kind of why I was pretty late on putting up a live message, because I was kind of leaning towards like, I'm so jaded at just looking at Streamlabs right now and being in front of my computer this way. I just want to completely unplug and not think about stream, on top of the fact that I was struggling to figure out what I was going to talk about anyway, because I'd mentioned it in previous streams. I don't know that you'll be able to see any of it in the VODs. Just another issue I will get to in a second. It's kind of turning into more of like a channel update than it is for Animal Crossing, but I'm sure I'll get to Animal Crossing at some point. But basically, I had planned for this to be Bridgerton week, because when I had first started planning it, sort of in the middle of last week, I had just started it like season 1, because the whole thing kind of missed me. Like, I knew like about the show, and I knew there were hot guys on it, and that I'd probably be into that, because I'm really basic, and then I heard that like season 2 was coming out, so I'm just like, oh shit, this would be like a great way to like, well, one, sort of feel like I'm back as a part of a community again for what everybody's watching, like even more than like just a chance to grow potentially the channel. I've also just been really starved for I guess like watching shows with other people on the internet. Ever since Euphoria, Rest in Peace season 2 went off air, and you know, we have to wait until 2024, was it? Yeah, 2024. It's been hard out here for a shitty memer on Twitter, who suddenly has to recognize that all of the memes, like the Euphoria memes that I have in my phone, are basically not usable anymore, except for the one that from Lexi's show that you can use for the Chris Rock slap. So I was just like, okay, so season 2 of Bridgerton, being able to watch that with everybody else and be able to cover, like, do like a recap of season 1 on Wednesday, and then do like I was gonna break up the episodes into like chunks, or break up the season into chunks, I mean. So I was probably gonna do like the first 2 for like one podcast, and then I might do like sort of a check-in by the middle, and then my final thoughts about the finale at the end of it. And that was going to be sort of my plan for the next few streams, which maybe in hindsight might have been a little bit more alienating than anything else. But I don't know. It gave me hope to be like, okay, well, I'll be like set for episode ideas for a little bit. On top of the fact that I'll just be able to be talking about a show I'm recently obsessing over. And I really was super into season 1 when I started it. I'll probably still finish season 1. But I feel like by the time that I do come around to it, because I'm dragging my feet a little bit, just because I'm not as into it now that I'm a little bit further on into it. I don't want to get too into detail about my feelings of Bridgerton right now, because I don't really want to be bringing any negativity towards the show or anything. It's not even really the show's fault that I'm kind of struggling to stay in the zone with it. I think it's just sometimes they're just shows that don't click with you, and that just seems to be like season 1. I'm willing to give season 2 a shot. I know it's like sort of like a light anthology-ish format because it follows the different siblings, but I would still feel weird skipping season 1 entirely just to stay current with season 2 in the hopes that that one might connect with me more. I just didn't feel like I wanted to do that. But so it left me with like oh shit, well, what am I gonna cover now? As if anybody's like really gonna like press me for having content up here. You know, it's really more me holding myself to a certain standard than anything else. I would hate to do like an episode or a video or whatever about like something that I wasn't into and that I'd just be kind of complaining about. That's kind of not the vibe that I want to bring here. But that leads me into problem number 2 that I've been having this week. This has just kind of been a stressful week on like the streaming side of things for me, because another issue I ran into, in case anybody's checked out the YouTube channel recently, or maybe you're watching this in the distant future and this is a well-known fact, I posted the Kingdom Hearts VOD from Monday yesterday morning, and oh my god, I didn't realize the quality was that bad. I didn't realize what what the source I was streaming at was. So it came out at like 240p. It was super blurry. The audio was fine, thank god, which I guess for like a podcast is what you really want. I know that I don't really have like a ton going on the screen anyway, because I don't have face cam and I'm not playing games, and I didn't have my browser open specifically for that stream because it really was just me fanboying over Kingdom Hearts for almost 2 hours. But I, you know, it's still upsetting to be like, this is my first video on the channel. It's not the first episode I filmed, but it was the one I wanted to get out as soon as possible because it was the most current one, and it was related to like the anniversary, so I really wanted it to be at least close to the date, and then everything else I could upload across like the rest of the week. Now I don't even know if I want to post the other episodes because they all look so bad, and I don't know, it's just incredibly discouraging. I still haven't really decided what I'm gonna do. I think if you're watching this in the future, you'll already know. You'll know if there's like a Love is Blind season 2 or a Turning Red video on the channel, like what my decision was. But it's just frustrating. So I was able to fix all those issues. It ended up being a really stupid mistake Um, I'm hoping I'm not speaking a little bit too early though on the resolution of this, but because when I upload, I'm definitely going to try to upload this one, even though it's definitely less of the format that I'd like, because it's not focused on the topic at all. This is definitely probably going to be like closer to the vibe of Friday streams than I normally have, where it's just super casual. Um, but originally I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do a really short stream today. This is gonna be mostly like a channel update and like me venting about hating technology, but also being really bad at it. And then like I'll be like in and out, and then it'll like exist on the channel as like sort of an update that way, and it'll be good. But I decided kind of midway through the day that that wasn't the approach that I wanted to have for like a Monday Wednesday stream, because I like having a little bit more effort and background put into them, because Friday streams are like, you know, the short ones. I've sort of decided pretty early on that was just something that I wanted to do. I only wanted to stream 3 days out of the week, and Monday and Wednesday were gonna be probably like fuller episodes that I would like post, and then Friday would just be like whatever the fuck I wanted to talk about that day. So because of that, I've been trying really hard not to get into bad habits, excuse me, or any ruts when I'm like just getting started out, because I'm so early in this realm of content creation, I guess. And I figured, well, if I let myself off the hook with this one, like this early, I I think it would be kind of just bad in the long run. But that might just be me. I'm realizing. Hang on, I'm gonna turn the music down a tiny bit. I just realized now how loud it probably is, because like it's saying on in Streamlabs that the levels are almost as high as my own. So I'm really sorry if that was really overpowering in the beginning. I'm just playing an Animal Crossing Lo-Fi playlist just because I'm gonna pretend that I'm that this is an Animal Crossing episode. But yeah, so that was just kind of a thing I was wrestling with a bit um, over the past couple of days. I say past couple of days, but I guess this has mostly been a thing that's transpired over the past 24 hours with the whole upload thing. I'm saying all this with all this like confidence or whatever, that I've fixed the issue, and that when I upload the VOD this time it's going to be fine. Watch it still have the same problem anyway, and then I just embarrassed myself live on stream thinking I solved the problem I was having. God, that would be really bad. I'm hoping I didn't manifest that just now, but I mean, I guess I'll find out in an hour. I'm gonna try to post this one in, a lot sooner than I have with the other ones, just because I really am curious to know how it uploads and everything. But yeah, so just to summarize everything, just been really frustrated with the technical side of things a bit. The sneaky little test stream I did earlier today, I mean, they were fun games, at least. Like, at least I won, but I was playing Wild Rift, but I deleted the VOD because it didn't look good. The one time it did look good was when I was streaming directly off of my phone, which is like, I guess is still like an alternative that I can do like one day. It's just like the problem is like, you know, you don't get, yeah, I don't have the control over over what everybody sees, I guess, like because it's just purely screen capture, and then like I can't talk during it, so my personality is completely out of it. Again, it'd be really great if the Streamlabs feature for Android eventually gets added to iOS, because then I would probably be able to do this just fine, but sadly right now that's just not the case, and I've been having to use a lot of third-party shit, and the third-party shit is not good. Which, like, I probably could have guessed by the fact that a lot of them only had like 3 reviews on the App Store. And yeah, I don't know. again, it was just kind of figuring things out, seeing what's out there, and it just didn't work out this time. So, and I'm just glad I didn't subject anybody else to that when I when I streamed it, because I streamed it kind of pretty early in the day. Um, but yeah, so that's basically been how this day has been going. I I think it's kind of fitting though that I've decided that Animal Crossing is going to be um what I cover today, just because I don't know, it's my comfy game. It's always been my comfy game. For a little bit of backstory, um the first game that I played in the Animal Crossing series was Wild World on the DS. I believe it was the second game I had ever on that system. The first one I had was Final Fantasy 3, and I got both of those at the same time for Christmas. And then I got Wild World shortly after with Christmas money. I absolutely love that game. I still sort of have my nostalgia glasses on a lot of the time when I think about it, because then I'll go back and look at screenshots from it, or look at videos from it, or like I'll even pick it up because I still have my DS around here and I still have like my original copy, and it looks like it definitely shows its age, especially when you compare it to the more recent titles. But I still love the fuck out of it. I haven't played it in a really long time because that's just not um, that's just not me. But especially when like New Leaf exists, and I mean, I play more New Horizons at this point, but even then I haven't touched New Horizons in a really long time, um, which I'm kind of sad about, because that very much was my anxiety game. Um, for anybody who's sort of new here, or if you're just like watching purely from like the YouTube channel, because I've talked about it on past streams, but not all of the streams are going to be on here. Um, I've struggled with anxiety for most of my life, and it's kind of nice just to have something that is pretty, low conflict. There's like calming music, there's cute characters, and it's just like a very fluffy aesthetic. So this game was going to be perfect for me, no matter, it was scientifically engineered for me to be obsessed with it. Um, and I guess the main reason I probably fell off with it was I knew that I was going to restart my island, because I just didn't like how it was going. I worked really hard on. I wish I could do an island tour before I do it, but sadly I do not have the type of Switch that lets you do that. I have a Switch Lite, so I would not be able to stream it. There might be a way for me to like screen record it that I don't know about, and I can do like the island tour there and then just like post it. But honestly, it's like it wasn't finished. I got really frustrated with it and kind of just gave up. I feel like it's really easy to get frustrated with like resetting your island. Um, Not resetting your island, but like sort of terraforming it and everything when you don't play for a couple of days and the flowers just go wild on your island, and you have to like dig up everything. And but then with how New Horizons works with the tools, your shovel breaks a lot more, and it just becomes kind of a headache to just do basic things. And then on top of that, I just completely, like, after I basically did the top half of the islands, and then I left everything else up, like sort of at the bottom to like all the houses and all the stores. I moved down there so I could terraform the top. Then I moved some houses over there, and it started uh to really form itself. I was going for like a forest core kind of thing. Like I was really channeling uh the Animal Crossing on like the GameCube aesthetic, even though I never played that one because I'm a fake fan. I didn't play the first game. I think technically that might not actually be true. It might not be the first game, because I know whenever I look on like fan sites and everything that there were like smaller titles that came around then, like before then, at the same time, like, I could be wrong. I'm not an Animal Crossing historian, sadly. I wish I was. But the only games I've played are Wild World, City Folk, New Leaf. Pocket Camp and then New Horizons. I have not played Happy Home. Um, did not play Population Growing. I didn't play the one on like the. I think it says it's like one on the Game Boy, but I think it was probably more of like an extension because I know that the GameCube could like connect to like the Game Boy, so it might have been more related to that than like a standalone title or anything. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I was just kind of channeling a little bit of like the energy of the original game where like it was like very forested. This is before you could put furniture outside of your house. This is before you could terraform and everything. It was just very much it is what it is kind of deal. And I just wanted sort of that kind of like overgrown ish aesthetic. So of course when I like work my ass off to get the top half done, I like give up on the bottom half and just like I want to reset my island. So because I knew I was going to, I was just like mostly in like, okay, well I'm gonna optimize my island to be essentially the perfect moneymaker. So I turned it into like a giant farm. I planted a bunch of money trees. That was just sort of like my daily rotation was to just like farm bells. So then I could, because my sister has the game as well, so I was going to transfer like the items that I wanted to keep and the bells, which is like money, onto her island, and then when I restart my island, bring that stuff back so I don't have to start completely from square one. And which I know is like kind of cheaty, but at the same time, I feel like everybody who like resets their island, if they have like the opportunity to like keep their old shit, like they're gonna do it right. Like I'm definitely not alone in that. Especially because a lot of the items that came in the update, which I thought were really cute, are like really hard to get if you don't have Happy Home Paradise? If you don't have that DLC, which I don't. I was originally gonna get it the day it came out. I was like really tempted to pre-order it, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because I really fell off the game after that. But I know almost all of like the new items like ended up just being base game. There's like some stuff that's exclusive to the DLC. Like I know Partitions is like exclusively a DLC thing, and it's also just easier to get these items, like the rarer items with Happy Home. But I didn't want to. I kind of figured I wasn't gonna play it enough for it to be worth it, so I just kind of waited to get certain items, and I got all of them. Thankfully, but like they're super fucking expensive, so I was just like, okay, well I'm gonna be in super money saving mode, and then I have to take in consideration that I wanted to max out my house like almost immediately, and I wanted to be able to like move everyone's houses, which then when the update came and it became a lot cheaper to move houses and everything, I was just like, okay, thank God. So it's like not as intense for you to sort of get started with whatever amount of bells you have. I say this as if I'm like poor in this game. I'm really not. I have like, I'm trying to remember like the last bell amount that I remember from this game. I think it was a little bit over 9 million, which I know you can still burn through quite a bit, especially if you're prioritizing maxing out your house, which I think I'll probably just do the first 3 upgrades of it and then kind of leave it. But we'll see. But yeah, so because I knew that I was prepping to leave, I just turned it into like a farming simulator, which was nice. But then eventually it becomes like this is like a daily chore. I'm no longer interacting with my villagers. I'm no longer really feeling like I'm playing the game in a fun way. And then around that time, like I was starting to get really into Wild Rift and Genshin, and I just was like, I can only handle so many things that require my daily attention, like game wise, that I kind of just decided that this was the game I was gonna leave on in the background, which now I regret because because my Instagram feed is always full of like really cool looking islands, and everybody's sort of like talking about their like new favorite villagers, and like all the villagers that came in the update are amazing. I would die for literally every single one of them, especially oh god, what's his name, Sasha. I'm obsessed with Sasha. We love a femboy. And Shino, and then is it Ione? She's like the galaxy squirrel. I think she's super cute. I want all of them, but like again because I was like on a fully occupied island and I wasn't doing like any villager hunting and I wasn't like interacting with my villagers enough to have anybody move out. I just didn't get to see really a lot of that side of the new content at all. And then I only ended up getting like maybe 3 or 4 of the new items, period. So I just really felt disconnected from this update as much as I was like super into being able to have like the tripod camera and be able to go into first person mode and have like Rooster back. Um it's I don't know, I just fell off with it. I'm planning to get back into it eventually, which I think will be nice, but we're trying to think of what games I'm probably gonna like sacrifice for my rotation in order to make room for it, because this is a game I want to make room for. When I was sort of going back through to do some, I guess, light research, quote unquote, for I say light research as if this is like a heavily I didn't do that much preparation for this, I'll be perfectly honest. I just knew it was going to be longer than the 40-minute stream I was originally thinking of that was just going to be like a channel update, because I was just like, hey, if I'm going to talk about Animal Crossing, I might as well just really get into Animal Crossing. And I don't know, it just made me really nostalgic for it, and I was just like, this is such a cute game, this is such a precious game. I don't know if we're gonna get more DLC after this, or if like New Horizons is essentially done, and they're already working on the next game, but I just really wanted to give myself the chance to fall back into this game, I guess, fall back in love with it. And I mean, I guess I'll let people know if that actually works out and I do start my new island. But as of now, it is still sitting untouched for several months, and I don't know. Maybe this is the task I make for myself for this weekend, or maybe I just put it off for another month. I don't know. But this did kind of like inspire me to at least like reconsider it again, because like because I do miss all like the cute little villagers. I feel like I got a lot of the same type personality wise on my island, and because of that, dialogue kind of started getting repetitive. I know New Horizons already has that issue with like dialogue being pretty repetitive. This definitely was, in my opinion. Ooh, are we going into like a review for New Horizons now? I guess so. In comparison to past games, I feel like it started off with the least amount of depth. Like it gave you like a lot of features, which I think that like were in the series originally, like terraforming and being able to place furniture more freely. I know New Leaf introduced putting things out as like public works projects basically, and like that was sort of the closest thing we had to putting furniture outside. But now it's so much easier to just be able to do it yourself, and just put any kind of furniture you want outside and not have to worry about like the presets, and also how expensive some of those ended up being. But as good as all of those new features were, it sucked that we didn't have a lot of the NPCs starting up. We didn't have the art museum on launch. We didn't have the Roost on launch. A lot of I know I said that we didn't like get like a lot of the NPCs on launch, but like that really sucked. Like I miss Pelly, I miss Pete, I miss I feel like at the very least Pete was like they could have included Pete on a release, and just have him as like the mailman. I mean, that's because that's what he is, he's like the mailman, but like he can just be like walking around your island. I don't know if like they had like a constraint of like, oh, we can only have one NPC, like non-villager, weekly rotating NPC exist on the island at any given day, and then like they get cycled out, because otherwise it'd be like a tech issue. If that was a tech issue, that's kind of a sad tech issue, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, because of that, it made me miss a lot of the characters that we got a bunch of um, in New Leaf. Like I do miss having sort of like the main street where all these NPCs were, which which does tie into like what we're doing today. Is we're going to be ranking. I have two tier lists because I had a hard time finding one that was a complete list because one of them that has like all of the older ones like only goes up to New Leaf and the other one is like only New Horizons. I'm sure there probably is a tier list out there that is comprehensive. If there isn't, I need someone to make one because splitting this up into two parts like isn't it's not ideal, but it's okay because I felt like doing it anyway. But but yeah, like in New Leaf and in City Folk too, they had like a essentially a shopping district, and that's where you'd be able to find all these NPCs. And it was nice to see them all sort of in one spot and just sort of sometimes interacting with each other. Um, so not having that on release because we didn't start off with Harv's campground in that way. Like we still had a Harv's Island, but like the campground with all of these NPCs returning. We didn't start the game with that. That came in the last free update, and I still loved New Horizons on release, but those features were pretty missed. And then on top of that, the dialogue was pretty limited. So it was like a lot of people repeating the same lines over and over again, and that only feels worse when that only feels worse when the majority of your villagers have the same personality type. I think I have like too many jocks on my island. But like they're the only ones that will like spawn for me. It's super annoying. Like I like two of them, and then like that's it. Um, I don't even remember who's on my island anymore though. I know for sure I have Tipper the cow, Cat the cat. Um, I think I had Mac, who's like a dog. I lucked out, in my opinion anyway, with my first save for New Horizons because I got like Cat and Mac, and like in my mind it's like, oh my god, it's like just like a cat and a dog. I know that's really basic and simple, and it's kind of stupid that I find that really adorable, but that's just how I feel about this game. It's just like cute vibes, it's just very cute shit. So I will miss them. They're the villagers I will probably miss the most. Not because of their individual personalities per se, just that like just starting off with like a cat and a dog. I don't know that I'm gonna have that again. I don't know that I'll have that kind of random luck because I know you don't start off with the same villagers when you make a new island. But yeah, so with all that being said, hang on, let me pull everything up here. 1 second. So the first list, we're gonna go into full screen. I was originally gonna do like the mini screen because I thought maybe this would be kind of boring to just look at like a browser window, but at the same time, like this is kind of the easiest way to view it, I guess. So the first one we have here is all of the New Horizons NPCs with the 2.0 update. This is basically going to be like the store owners, the holiday events, just sort of basic people in the game. So I have, so we split them into a couple of tiers. I always like to rename the tiers out of the sort of pre-existing lists, just because I think it can be fun. But this one I was a little split on because between having like an I don't know her category and then also just like okay, like how am I gonna break up like meh and like not really feeling it kind of thing. Like, you know, it's kind of hard to find like those like in between levels for like how you feel about somebody. And to be honest, I have a feeling I'm not even going to be using all of like the tiers in this because I think as far as New Horizons is concerned, they're pretty inoffensive. Like there isn't really like an NPC I found really annoying. There's just some that I feel kind of indifferent about. So maybe delete is kind of like a harsh it's a harsh tier. Do I feel like renaming it though? I don't know. But yeah, so it's broken down to, for at least this tier list. The other one, the other list is gonna have different names. I think mostly anyway. But there's would literally die to protect them. So these are like the purest beings. I would absolutely love to bring them into real life. I get that. That's not even true. I don't know why I said that. Um, no, but they're just like they're just super cute. They have like great personalities. I'm like obsessed with them. They are the S tier of this list. Below them is iconic. I still really like them. I just like wouldn't die for them, but it's like hard not to acknowledge their status in the Animal Crossing canon. Like for example, I'm gonna put KK Slider here in if it's gonna let me. I'm gonna put an iconic because like I don't know what an Animal Crossing game would be without this character. But would I die for him? I don't know. I do like the songs. I like the new songs that they added with the game, but for example, a character that I would literally die protecting them, Daisy May. I think I'm really glad she's taking over the family business. She's just like a cute little boar that like runs around sneezing everywhere. I wish she would like wear a mask and like also give us like, you know, 6 feet of space. I think it's kind of ironic that that this game came out in the in the very early stages of the pandemic where everybody was sort of freaking out, justifiably so, about anybody sneezing or coughing near them, and then this character is literally sneezing on you all the time. Um, but like in Animal Crossing, we don't have COVID, so it's fine. It is a low conflict world, and I love that. That like even being in debt isn't like a serious deal. Like nobody's coming over to break your kneecaps. Um, so then below that is cute. I like them. I don't love them. Then there's were better in previous games. So a lot of these NPCs are returning NPCs from earlier games, and I might have liked them in earlier ones, but I just don't feel them in this game either because their personalities watered down, or their character event was like annoying, and it was like better in older games. Then there's I do not wish to perceive them, which is like I don't really like them, but I don't straight up hate them. And then there's delete. And if I'm being honest, is there anybody in the delete category for me? Um, Overall, not really. I think like honestly, this might be a waste of space for a tier. Um, because honestly, the lowest I will score someone. Okay, controversial opinion. I will say I do not wish to perceive Zipper T. Is it? I'm pretty sure it's Zipper T. That's mostly because I find his event really annoying. Like I don't like any of the ones where you have to shake the trees a lot. Um, and he's just kind of creepy. But like I don't hate him. He's still kind of a funny character of just like it's like a guy in like a bunny costume, but like is he like the only other human in this universe, or is he like another animal? Like it's kind of creepy, but like in a fun way. But for the most part, I don't know. I'm like not a giant fan, so I'm kind of meh. Rooster, iconic. Um, the only reason why I wouldn't die for him, I guess, and maybe it's I don't want to put him in were better in wait, should I say were better or was better? I guess I should say was better, but as like people being in like the individual category, but then like as the category as a whole, collectively they were. But I think for the sake of me like saying it out loud, it's probably easier for me to do singular. Please don't kill me for my grammar. Um it's hard for me to know whether I like him more in like earlier games or not because he was introduced so late, and by the time he came in the update, I just didn't give myself enough time to get attached to him. I kind of like how he was like a little bit colder to you in earlier games, I guess. I feel like he warms up to you really quickly in New Horizons. I think that's kind of the same with like a lot of the characters um in this game specifically. Like hang on, I'm gonna find Sable. So Sable, here's the thing. I still like Sable quite a bit as a character. I love that her whole thing is like she's like a little bit tsundere in earlier games, where she's just kind of like, hey, I'm working here, like mind your business, and then like she slowly opens up to you. It's kind of the closest thing this game has to like a social meter as far as like building relationships with other characters, or at least like the most noticeable one. Like I know that, you know, maxing out quote unquote friendship with villagers gives you like their like they'll give you their signed portraits or whatever, but for me that takes like so long to do that it doesn't feel noticeable for me. Whereas like Sable is just like after the first 3 weeks she will definitely like be a lot more opened up to you, and they talk about like their sad backstory, and I always find that part of the game really cute. um it's just, I don't know, like she didn't bring anything new to the table with this. Like I kind of wish they had like added a little bit more story with it, um which is why maybe a little bit unfairly I was originally gonna put um Mabel like in cute, but I think she kind of deserves to be next to her sister just because of like that same fact of like, again, I love them so much. I feel bad putting it in like a category that sort of overall looks a little bit more negative, but it really is just that like I liked them a little bit better in the other games. Um, Same with like, okay, so we're gonna do left to right order with this. How about this? Where the left is the sort of, you know, peak, and then it sort of like goes in descending order from there. I I'm really frustrated with what they did with LaBelle, because I still like her character, but the fashion sort of mini game with her when like you're trying to like um, build the outfits based around a theme, that was something that Gracie Grace did, and I'm so mad that Gracie isn't in this game. Like the giraffe, like the fashionista giraffe, she's not in this game. LaBelle has taken over her role as like a traveling fashionista, and I'm just like, when I look at what her role was in New Leaf, where she was like working in the store next door to like Mabel and Sable, I thought that was really cute. I feel like for me that was kind of peak LaBelle, but I will say I did like LaBelle when she was like a city girl in City Folk. So I guess it's kind of tied there, but the fact that she's back to being like um someone that's not near her sisters at all. She's only here as like sort of an occasional rotation. And then she doesn't even give you really good items anyway. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I put her in I like, she honestly, she flopped. She disappointed me. So I'm putting her in I do not wish to perceive them. But I think she'll probably stay pretty high. I don't want to be too harsh for LaBelle. It's honestly mostly my like vendetta for them removing yet another iconic NPC from the game when they launch New Horizons. Like I feel like Gracie was the perfect opportunity to like be a character that was reintroduced with a 2.0 update, and they just didn't do it. And that's a shame, because I kind of miss when characters in this game were mean. Like the villagers and some of the NPCs used to be like so bitchy to you, and then I think someone complained. So I don't remember their name. I'm sorry. I know they're from like the Happy Home stuff typically. I know I do recognize them from Pocket Camp, and then they were also in like the Happy Home Paradise, which was the DLC. I don't really have an attachment to them, but I don't hate them. But I can't say they were better in previous games either. So they're kind of like on like the lower end of cute. I'll probably say that with like Wardell a bit too, but like I think Wardell's like a little bit cuter. And then we're gonna expose me being like maybe a little bit of hypocrite, because I will say again, this is a character that was introduced with the DLC along with these two, but I would literally die for Nico. Is it Nico or Miko? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's Nico. There's gonna be a pretty common trend with who I would literally die for in this game. Oh my, wait, no way. I didn't realize they separated Timmy and Tommy. I thought they were gonna put them together. I kind of respect them putting them separately though. Um, I just don't know. I don't know how to rank them though because of that. I think I'll. You know what? I'm between putting them on the lower end of cute or the upper end of were better in previous games, and that's mostly because like I don't really. I mean, I guess they didn't run the main store. Well, they ran the main store in New Leaf, so it's not like a new, like exclusively New Horizons thing. Because like Tom Nook didn't work at Nook's Cranny in New Leaf, did he? I don't think he did, because I think he was working with yeah, because he was working with like the home renovations office with Lyle, who like doesn't you don't get until later. So they've been running the store since New Leaf. And I remember in Wild World, I don't know if that was the first time they were introduced, but that's the first time I became aware of them. Was they were in charge of working the upper floor of like the department store, and I liked them there as sort of like you know, just like, oh, they're like his kids helping out with like the family business. But then in New Leaf, I was like, okay, like I guess they're starting to look at the store on their own. At least their dad's kind of nearby, so it's not as weird. But I don't love it as much because like I still think Tom Nook being the one running the store is like kind of makes more sense. And then like New Horizons, I don't know, like I just kind of, I don't know. I guess, you know what? I think they're gonna go and were better in previous games. I still like them, but I don't know. It's just maybe it's just nostalgia glasses for Wild World. And then like I don't remember what they were like in City Folk because I didn't play that game long enough for that to for them to show up. I think it still worked pretty similar to Wild World, where like they'd come in sort of later in the game once you upgraded the store enough times. But I could be wrong. I think like the thing with City Folk was that they definitely had to realize at this point that this game was made predominantly for handheld. That's kind of the way that people are always gonna want to ideally play it. I think it's like a little bit different now because people can stream this game, so like having like a fixed console setup is like still fine. Like it still works fine on the Switch, but like again, the Switch is just good for being able to do both anyway. So the portability of it isn't like as necessary in some ways because like again, streamers that are going to be playing it and like having it on stream, they're going to be having it strictly with the console and like sort of that console setup, so it's going to be stationary. I still think the best way to play this game is like, you know, handheld portable, which is why I have a Switch Lite. It was kind of one of the biggest reasons I got a Switch Lite too, was to play this game. So, but like because of that, City Folk was kind of weird for me with it being like a fixed console that I had to go downstairs and play because that's where the Wii was set up, and I didn't have the right controller for it at the time, so it just became kind of more frustrating to play than anything else. And I'm just like, why would I play this when I can just play Wild World? But so Rudy wait, is it? No, it's not Rudy, it's Jingle. I keep forgetting that there's a cat villager named Rudy who's like supposed to be like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, because he's a cat that just has like a red nose. If I'm being honest, he's kind of in a similar territory to Zipper, where like I don't hate them, but he's definitely less annoying than Zipper, but his like event I still don't love. But it's conflicting though, because like, I know this is really basic, but I really like Christmas. So when they added him in the Christmas update, I was just very, I was super into it. And then like at that point, that was like the, everybody's first Christmas in the game if they weren't like time traveling. It was just like a very special time. So I'm just like, maybe I do put them in. Well, were they better in previous games though? Because their event in the kind of earlier games too, I wasn't like super in love with, but like it wasn't as tedious as trying to like get the ornaments to craft like the wrapping paper, and like that's like the event. Yeah, no, I think I'll leave it here. Like that's, yeah, that feels about right actually. Maybe I am annoyed by them. Maybe Jingle is the problem. Um, ooh, so is it Jack? Jack the Jack Lantern? I mean, it makes sense. So here's the thing. They're not my favorite NPC ever, but in my opinion, they do have one of the more fun holiday events in this game. So I'm a little conflicted on where to put them. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna move Timmy and Tommy further down. I know that might be sacrilege for people who really like the cute little like raccoon dogs, but I'm not afraid of backlash, to be honest. Um, I think I'll put them sort of. They're gonna stay on the lower end of cute because I still wouldn't argue that they were better in previous games. But ooh, did my playlist just end? Have I really been on stream for that long? Oh, that's really funny. Okay, hang on. We're gonna switch in just a sec. I'm gonna switch to the next playlist. I will say I am like a little scared of, now that I'm listening to it, I'm a little scared of this of this specific playlist maybe being like DMCA-able. Cuz like it's still transformative content as like a lo-fi remix, but I don't know. Nintendo's very protective of their shit. It's I don't know. I might just switch it back to the one that at least was confirmed to be Twitch safe because I don't know what the other one is. It doesn't like have it in like the description anywhere. Sorry, I'm just like ignore me. I'm freaking out over a copyright claim that like is not even going to be an issue probably realistically. Also, oh my god, my nose is so stuffy right now. Hang on, I'm gonna mute myself very quickly so I can blow my nose. I'm so gross. I'm sorry. Alright, sorry. That's much better. I realized I was sniffling a lot. I'm just like, maybe it's more annoying for me to be sniffling than for me to just like announce them and be blowing my nose on stream. Ave. I will put, maybe cute might be like a misleading name because like I don't necessarily find all of these characters cute. I just sort of like, oh, they're, it's less like oh, you're cute. It's like oh, they're cute, I guess, or like, oh, that's cute, kind of. Where it's, I don't know how to explain the nuance of it, but I think some people will get it when I say that. I think they will probably be. Actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna put them in cute. I think they're iconic. I love the dance. I love the event. I love the feathers. I just think every game Pave has been in, I've absolutely adored them. So I will put them in iconic. Same thing with Blathers is on like the upper end of iconic. I think all of the quality of life changes that Blathers has had over the past couple of games in comparison to Wild World, where like every single time you were going to donate something, well, first of all, it wouldn't tell you if you've already donated that. And then second, you have to do it like one at a time. You couldn't just like like we are spoiled in New Horizons. I think it started in New Leaf actually though, but it might have been in City Folk. Again, I didn't play City Folk long enough, which I know sounds kind of wild that I'm like not remembering if like he's one of the first NPCs and like events you get like by default is like the museum in that game. But yeah, no, we are spoiled with the quality of life changes that Nintendo has presented us by letting us like mass identify fossils and donate a bunch of different items at the same time. That is not something we had the luxury of in the past. And then I think on top of the fact that these quality of life changes are there in the new museum is so good. I like objectively the best museum in the entire series. Argue with the wall. I also think them not being available immediately in like the world, and you have to like sort of you have to like wait for them. It did make me like them even more because I'm just like I didn't realize how much I missed him. Like I knew he was still in the game. Like there was no way they were gonna get rid of Blathers. He wasn't a character I was ever worried about them axing from the game. But yeah, I don't know. Oh my god. So I might have a really unpopular take about Rover. I think he was better in previous games. If I'm going to be honest, I'm going to put him on the lower end, and here's why. I think the mazes are really annoying. Like I'm glad they're optional, but I think the mysterious maze island and like that being the kind of the only way you get to talk to them, as nice as it was to sort of get that that callback and making this character kind of rarer, sort of makes that character special. It just wasn't for me. I preferred how he wasn't in New Leaf and in Wild World. Not Wild World, sorry. The original game more, where like you're just talking to him on a train. Actually, it sounds like he was in Wild World though, as like one of the people you talk to over the phone. I think that was kind of an Easter egg, but I could be wrong. As far as Tom Nook, so here's the thing, I probably could just put him in iconic. But I don't know if okay, so I will put him in iconic mostly because when New Horizons came out and people were just starting to learn about like the deep lore memes of Tom Nook, because for a lot of people, New Horizons was their first game, which I think is like I'm not going to be a gatekeeper about it. I think it's great. This is a great title for you to jump into. It means you're not going to be, if anything, it means you're not going to be missing all of the old content that that we should have had on launch. So that almost might make your experience with the game better. Because of that, I think seeing everybody learn about like in the past about how he's this like conniving person who like traps you into debt, and then having this like discourse online with like people being like, what, Tom Nook did nothing wrong, or oh, Tom Nook's not that bad in this game, what are you guys talking about, versus like the diehards in like the fan base that literally hate this guy. So I think because of that I have to put him in iconic. I feel like he is like a problematic fave for a lot of people, and I respect that. So I'm seeing here that that Leaf is on here twice, but that just means he's gonna go up here twice. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put him above Nico. I was thinking maybe more than Daisy May, but I feel like it's a good tie. I really like Leaf. I think him calling his like plant, he's like the flower and like shrub seller, but he also like sells you crops when they like added farming to the game. I think him just referring to plants as like little friends and like, oh, you get to take home a little pal. I just think that's cute. And I really liked him in New Leaf as well, so I'm glad he came back into this game. And he was like one of the on-release characters, I'm pretty sure too, right? I will say, I will die for Kix as well. He's kind of like on like the lower end, in my opinion, but like I really liked his character in City Folk. I really liked that he came back in New Leaf, but I really love how useful he is in New Horizons because I think backpacks are probably one of my favorite cosmetic items they added to the game. Besides having better hairs in the game. Like I'm really glad that they at least tried to be like a little bit more inclusive hairstyle wise for ethnic hairs. There's still obviously a long way to go, and they still need to fix skin tones in my opinion in future releases, but I'm really glad that they're like trying. So because of that, like it's hard for me to like call New Horizons a flop because it does have some of the best improvements in this series that I hope they keep moving forward. um so just having Kix be somebody who gives you like honestly, I loved that the update gives you like a sword, like a sword backpack. um I run around with it all the time like a edgelord. It's great, and because of that I'm gonna think he's great. um Excuse me. Tortimer, also iconic. How is this bitch not dead yet? There's not really much I have to say about him. I think mostly because he doesn't really show up that much like in your game. I mean he comes late, like pretty late I think. So he definitely has like less of an impact in comparison to like previous games. I kind of liked how he was like in New Leaf a little bit more, but is that enough for me to say he was better in previous games? Not really. I think he's still sort of iconic. Maybe that's really unfair to the other people I put in the was better in previous games category, but I don't know. I just love Tortimer. Um, this might be another controversial decision, or maybe not. I think he was better in previous games. He's always a character that like, here's the thing, he's a consistently obnoxious character. I don't like how expensive his shit is. I don't like how this is the only way you can get art museum stuff. But actually, you know what? Do I want to put? Does he deserve to be in the was better in previous games category? Not really. I think he's pretty annoying. I'm gonna put him in I do not perceive him. I don't hate him enough to like want to delete him, but I really don't. I don't vibe with him. The fact that I really have to open up like an online guide every time to tell which is like a fake and which isn't, which some of them are obvious, but a lot of them are just give me a headache looking at them. Yeah, I don't know. I've just never really liked the forgeries aspect of his character. So the Dodo brothers, I'm believing their names are, is it Orville and Peck? Or is that even right? That might not even be right. Am I just thinking of like, I think I might just be thinking of popcorn. Anyway, I do like the Dodo brothers quite a bit. It's interesting having an airport instead of like a town gate or a train station or like whatever be sort of your port, like in and out of the world. But I don't mind. I mean, it makes sense because you're on a deserted island, so like that's gonna be your mode of transportation. So I get it. I understand it. Are they enough to be put in iconic though? Okay, you know what? How about this? I will put him in iconic because I think I'll put him above Tumnuk. I'm not afraid to do that. No, you know what? I'll put him above Tortimer. I think the phrases he has are so stupid. Of like just giving everything a code word. Like he's like a Top Gun kind of dude. I just think that's very entertaining. And then I'll put you at the. Do I want to put you at the top of Q, or do I want to put you sort of in iconic? I think I'll leave you there because I'm a little bit. I know this isn't fair because I put your brother like higher, but I really do wish Copper and Booker were back in this game. if you don't know who they are, I'm pretty sure they're on the other tier list. I will sort of go into more detail when we see them there. But they essentially ran the town gate in Wild World, and then I'm not really sure what they did in the other games. I know they were well. I know in the original game they were the well in the GameCube version they were the police station, which was like essentially like the lost and found. And then in was it New Leaf? In New Leaf they ran the lost and found um, building that you can have as a community project, but you can only pick one of them, which I think sucks because in my headcanon they are lovers. So when you separate the two of them, it's just like it's not a good look, Nintendo. So then like the fact that they're completely out of this game. If we didn't have my favorite gay couple in this game, I would have considered this queer erasure. But here we are with CJ and Flick, who I don't care if Nintendo kind of refuses to really acknowledge it. I think like I know that like the developers have sort of made like an official stance on it, but I feel like the amount of times they like put the two characters together, like they live together, they call each other like their partner, but it's like it doesn't seem like in like a colleague kind of way. I'm putting them in would literally die for them. I love my gays. Um, I I'm definitely more of a CJ than a Flick because I'm like very into social media and very into like the streaming scene. But like I do love Flick's enthusiasm about sort of weird stuff and like his artsy side and maybe a little bit of his like edgy side and like but I just think that like CJ supporting his and like plugging his art commissions all the time is very cute. Like yes, the fishing challenges that CJ makes you do are a little tedious sometimes just because I feel like fishing in New Horizons is probably the most frustrating it is out of like all of the games. Controversial opinion. Um I can overlook it because they are my gays and I stand my gays. Um as far as Harvey is concerned, I'll be honest, I've never been a fan of Harv. Not enough to delete him. Again, I feel like the delete category is pretty useless. Um, I kind of almost want to rename it so I can put people down there, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like maybe we have nothing like enough diversity. But I will put you. You know what? Fuck it. I'll put you below. I'll put you below Zipper. Oh my god, Wisp. I would die for Wisp, which is like maybe a little ironic, but hang on, I'm gonna take a quick sip of water because I just realized I've been harping on voice pretty intensely. So give me 1 second, but I will continue to stand Wisp in one moment. I just don't want y'all to hear me drink. Because I've been told I like gulp very loudly, which like is not an innuendo. Okay, don't make it weird. Alright, I went and got a cough drop too. I'm not gonna like put it in now, but if it gets kind of bad, I will later. I love that the other night I was saying I was being like a lot nicer to my voice. And I could tell that I was like hearing a change in how I talk that would be like a little bit more sustainable for long-term chatting streams. And then I like immediately have regressed into bad habits. I think it's just because I'm like I just really love this game. Sorry, I keep holding in a burp. I just really love this series. It's one of my favorite franchises, so I'm gonna get very expressive over these like stupid fucking characters. I'm sorry. You know, okay. So I think the would die for them um category is like probably getting a little full, but I'm really tempted to put Reese and Cyrus up there because like they're the they're the least problematic straight couple I know. So because of that, like I do want to put them up and would literally die to protect them. But I do think their event is like the wedding photos event can be kind of tedious. It's not enough for me to say I like them better in previous games, but it is enough to maybe be like, I'll put you in iconic. But you'll be on the upper end of iconic though, so don't worry, besties. But I would probably die for you, like to be honest. I think I think their relationship is super cute. I love how much like they stan each other and like she stands his craftsmanship and he loves how business oriented she is. Um, and then like they're like they the wedding photos like event like as tedious as it can kind of be, it is still pretty cute. Um, I like the idea of them just like renewing their vows because like but like not doing it like instead of waiting until they're significantly older to do it, they do it every year because they just like fucking love each other and they just rope in this random islander to take their photos every year. I just think that's kind of cute. So I'll put them in iconic. They will stay at the upper end of iconic because I do love them so much. They were my one of my favorite additions to New Leaf besides Hello Miss Thing, the iconic Isabel. You know what? You you can jump to the front of the line. Um, I know this is like a really basic opinion to stan Isabel, but she is so cute. She is like one of the few characters that, in my opinion, got kind of better, um, which I didn't know would be possible because she was really cute in New Leaf. But I love her reading the morning announcements. I think the little animations she has in town hall when she's like sort of not at her desk, like where she's like watering flowers, or when she's like just shoving her face in like a fan because it's hot out. I just think is super cute. So she gets to be near the front of the line. I don't know that she usurps Daisy May for me yet, but she's pretty close. It's a pretty even tie. I do like her more than Leaf, which like is saying a lot. I don't know how much I can express. I love this like fucking sloth, but like I like this little pupper a bit more. That's all I'll say on that. I can't. Oh god, I don't remember. I don't remember his name. But this is like the Thanksgiving character. Um, to be honest, I think you were like kind of better in previous games, but that's. But am I lying though too? Because like, because we didn't have cooking in previous games, so I feel like objectively that kind of makes him better in this one. You know, I do think the Thanksgiving item set's kind of cute, so maybe I'll put you in cute just because of that. And like, you're not an offensive character to me. I generally like the holidays in New Horizons. It's just like the ones that involve you shaking trees or having to gather resources can be kind of annoying sometimes. Whereas this is just like asking you to like cook, basically. Ooh, let's talk about shoot. What's it? Gulliver? His name's Gulliver, right? Like Gulliver's Travels, like for sure. Um, I'm gonna be honest. He's like on the low end of was better in previous games for me. I almost do not wish to perceive him, to be honest. I think here's the thing. I think Pirate Gulliver, where you're swimming and you only have to find like one item, is like okay. But I think having to dig through the sand to find the parts to his like GPS tracker or whatever he's trying to get you to fix, that's so annoying. Like I think in his like event in New Leaf, that was like a geography quiz thing, I think, and like that's how you got the international items. I feel like because you can already get some pretty cool um items that are culturally specific. I almost said Pacific. Culturally specific. Um, through like the Nook Miles rewards and like also just like the rotating thing uh in the, in the online catalog, I guess is what I'll call it. Um, to me, it kind of just makes him a little obsolete. So like, there's times where like I don't even wake him up on the beach if I see him. To be honest. Katrina, you know what? I think, okay, this might be a little extreme. I do think she's iconic. I'm sad that they waited so long to introduce her, but like I still think she's iconic. She's the fortune teller that you get when you have to unlock her in the campsite, which does cost money, which is, you know, does suck, but at the same time, I just think she's like a cool character, and I remember her from Wild World. She would always be cursing me, so I'd be falling over all the time. Um, she's just a chaotic character, and I love her for that. So I'm gonna put her iconic. I think Captain. I'll put Captain in cute. I wanna say iconic, but his, this is probably an unpopular opinion. I think his songs are kind of annoying. I'm glad that New Leaf and New Horizons let you skip through them, but yeah, I don't know. I'll put him in cute. Maybe in between these two. I think that's fair. So this is Isabel's brother. You know what? Maybe I'll replace delete with like with that because he's not even in this game. He's only like available through like an amiibo, so I don't think he counts, to be honest. Should I put Wardell in that too? Because I don't have the deal. Well, actually no, I can't do that because I put Nico all the way at the top. So that'd be kind of unfair for me to put Wardell. And oh, I don't remember her name. Lottie. That'd be unfair for me to put her in there, like both of them in there if I let the little guy stay. Celeste. Okay, you know what? I think Celeste might trump Daisy May. I love Celeste. Celeste is my favorite NPC in like literally the entirety of the series. I think she's so cute. They introduced her in Wild World. I don't believe she was in the GameCube version. She's Blathers' younger sister. She was obsessed with astronomy. I can already tell she's an astrology girly as well, which is like probably a little contradictory because I feel like most astronomers will tell you that astrology is stupid. But I think she's so chill that like she doesn't care about it. Because of that, I think she's iconic. I love all the fan art with the Blathers and Celeste when like they're both like little outlets or whatever, and he like there's like one where he's gifting her like her first telescope that I wish I still had like the link to, because otherwise I'd put it in chat. But she's very cute. She's she's at the top. I would literally die for her. Pascal. I will say, so the running joke for me is that Pascal is my husband and it is my job to feed him every day. So I'm going to put him, I guess in that sense, because I'm deep diving for scallops all the time, because that's how you summon him in New Horizons. In that sense, I would literally die for him, because I am literally diving in the water when this bitch cannot swim long distances or dive to feed this man, because I have to take care of my husband. So, but I'll put him kind of near the bottom because because I don't think he really like tops the other characters per se, but I think he's too important for me to like put him in iconic, if that makes any sense. Oh, I think the Dream Suite girly, she is also iconic. I'll put her behind DK Slider, I think, though. Actually, you know what? I don't know why I put Katrina so low. Katrina is like here. for me. She is the moment. She is a chaotic bestie. And then Sahara, I'll put her on the low end of cute, but she's kind of like, she tests me a little bit. I feel like carrying around the tickets was kind of annoying in order to get like free wallpapers or flooring. But I do think they really stepped up the flooring and wallpaper game in New Horizons. But like you're very reliant on her sort of RNG to get them, which kind of sucks, but she does show up in your town quite a bit. And like once you unlock her in the campsite, because I'm pretty sure you can unlock her in the campsite, right? Then you can just like access her wares every day. So it's like fine. So that is the tier list that, oh, I took a lot longer on this tier list than I thought. I was like really worried that like, that I was gonna breeze right through it, and because of that, that this was gonna be a short stream, which is why I brought up the second tier list mostly. Also, kind of just because I wanted a comprehensive one for like everybody. But yeah, I can't believe this might actually take up an entire stream. I mean, I'm not complaining. I know I was like sort of starved for content. I was really struggling to think of what I wanted to stream today, so I'm guessing I'm okay with this. I'm pretty alright with this. That being said, I think because I don't want to go super late, we should probably get started on this new one. I'm really glad I didn't do ranking all villagers, because I knew that one was gonna take too long. Mostly because like a lot of the villagers I just hadn't seen yet anyway. I could really only just show like which ones were ever in my towns or on my islands, and that's kind of it. So I don't know, it feels like a little rough to try to rank them that way. So I don't even know if I'll do like a comprehensive villager tier list or not. I think it would just take too long, and it'd be a lot of me just like throwing people into the I don't know her sort of category. But so this is for every special character, I think up until New Leaf, because I'm not seeing anybody from New Horizons on here. Oh, there is, okay, so there are some Pocket Camp people on here. There's also some people I don't recognize though. So maybe I just add another, yeah, I'm gonna add a row below for an I don't know her. Oh, I should change the color though, shouldn't I? Yeah. So it's like I'm indifferent to them, but I don't know her. Because I don't recognize some of these. I recognize most of them, just not all of them. So so this is gonna date this episode quite a bit. The top tier is I would defend their honor on live TV. I would literally slap anybody who disrespected them on live television and deal with the Twitter fallout afterwards because I'm chaotic. I'm returning with iconic and cute, but I'm adding a meh category instead of they were better in previous games because this is kind of the entire series. And then there's throw her away, as in I absolutely fucking hate them and would like to see them deleted from the game, but a lot of them don't, so it's like, eh. So I think because he is my husband and I must stand by my man, by default, Pascal is in the would defend their honor on live TV, because I just know he would also do the same for me. If somebody disrespected me, it would be all hands or pause or whatever. So because this is like comprehensive, I feel comfortable putting all of, I'll put all of like the Mabel sisters in iconic personally. Yeah, the girlies can sit together for once. I know I separated them on like the New Horizons list, but they can chill out here. It's fine. I love that for them. So this guy, so he is Flick's predecessor. I don't remember which. I don't think he was introduced in New Leaf. I do remember him being in it, but I think he might have been like a GameCube character. But he basically does like the bug off, like basically like the competitions that they have, like sort of quarterly, where you just like catch bugs and it's like a competition that way. I'm gonna put them in meh, to be honest. I don't hate them, but I didn't participate in. I honestly I don't really do the tourneys. In most of the game, the only tourney I would consistently do would be like the fishing tourney, and that's mostly because I like fishing in this game. I don't like it in New Horizons because it just kind of I don't know what like changed about the fishing in between the games except for like the water looking different, but it's like weirdly harder for me. Like I feel like I miss fish more in New Horizons than I have in previous games. All right, I'm gonna put. I don't know how much of it is just because I missed them, but hang on, I'm gonna put Pelly at the top because she is so rude. She's so catty, and like she's kind of iconic for that. I kind of love her for that. She's such a bitch. She's great. I love her. Um, and I wish they would bring them back because I know like because they got rid of like the post office sort of system because they went with postcards instead. There wasn't really a place to put them, but like that's like a big missed opportunity on their part to include them. I know again I know all of these characters can be added through like the amiibo cards when they go to the roost or whatever. If you like scan their amiibos, um, you do get to interact with them again, but it's not the same as just seeing them walk around, you know? Like, I don't want to have to spend more money to get the best characters. And even then, I feel like... Wait, is it Pelly or Polly? I always mix up, like, which one's which. Well, this... Okay, so the pink one, she's the asshole. I don't want to have to spend money for, like, a watered-down version of her that's, like, not as mean as she was in previous games. Basically the way the post office used to work is like so the white one is like for the day shift, and then the pink one is for the night shift, which is why she's super grumpy and she's so mean to you whenever you talk to her. She's like super sarcastic. um like I'm obsessed with her. I hated her as a kid, but like now that I've like grown up, I'm just like, okay, I respect how much of a bitch she is because me the fuck too. Um, that's not entirely true. I don't think I'm a bitch. I'm that bitch. Let me stop. Pave. I'll put them in iconic. I still think like I they're iconic. This is the first throw her away. I hate Lyle so much. Like he gets like a little bit more use in New Leaf because he's no longer just like the well, I know, I think he still sells quote unquote insurance in the game, which like basically is just like, oh, if you get stung by bees or whatever, um we'll reimburse you. Which kind of makes me wonder why he's not in New Horizons, because like they added like a bunch of new hazards in the game, right? Because like they have scorpions and tarantulas now. Like it's no longer bees that are gonna be like fucking you up. So there's more hazards in the game, and because of that, I feel like Lyle's like almost a little bit more useful there. But like I know that he's like mostly with like the Happy Home Academy. I think starting with New Leaf, so he doesn't do insurance anymore. So I think he's still like sort of kind of featured in New Horizons because he's the one that writes the letters to you, I think. Or at least it's implied that he is, but I could be wrong. But because of that, I don't know. It's like again, it's another like missed opportunity kind of thing, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna throw her away. Get her out of here. This is the Dream Suite Queen wellness icon. I'll put her in iconic, obviously. Ooh, this guy. So this guy gives you this. I only really know him from New Leaf. I don't know if he's in like in the other games because I'm not an expert as much as I would love to be. But he gives you merit badges based on certain milestones you make. So like basically if you catch this many fish this month, or if you got this many bugs this month, or if you collected a lot of furniture this month, he'll give you like a merit badge. um, which like is fine. But I think because there's like it's like the Nook Miles rewards. I think that's what it is in New Horizons, where like it's cataloging your achievements in that way. He's kind of obsolete, which is why he's not in the game anymore. Which again is like I'll take any sort of opportunity to get like one of these special characters back in New Horizons. But he definitely was one of the more disposable ones, so I'll just put him in cute. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'll put him in the high end of meh. How about that? Again, I know I said I wasn't going to be ranking them based on New Horizons, but honestly, like, it's not great when if I don't miss you in New Horizons. If you're like an NPC that's been in like previous games and then like you're not in this one, and like I don't think about you. Ooh, I don't remember his name. He's the one that runs the train station in the GameCube game, and then he's also in New Leaf because that's when the train returns. I think he's cute. He's like harmless. He has like he has a no thoughts head empty expression, which I always find kind of endearing. So I'll put him in cute. Why not? I will continue to put Crazy Red and throw her away. I'm realizing more and more how much I don't like him, but I don't hate him enough to like put him super low, so I'll put him in like the top of Throw Her Away. He's at the top of the garbage pile. Obviously I would. Hang on, I'm gonna find you and your hubby. I would be remiss to separate the two of you. Again, we love our non-problematic straights. Wait, do I want them higher though than... You know what? I will put them higher than Pelly. Pelly and Polly. Resetti, basic opinion, throw her away. I do think it's kind of cute that well, one, you get to see his siblings in there's like a little Easter egg you can get with like a public works project in New Leaf that lets you go into his underground lair, and that's where you like meet his siblings. So that's kind of cute. And on top of that, like I like that they understand how annoying the bit of because basically this character yells at you if you don't save your game before closing it out. There are certain titles in the game that sort of had like a soft autosave on them, but New Horizons was the first one to have like a full autosave, so because of that, this character doesn't show up outside of like a brief cameo capacity, which is just like if you use emergency services on like the application, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be his voice on the other end, so that's how they incorporate him in the game. But then in New Leaf, I think the bit was he's had anger management courses. So we do love like a self-improvement arc, but I still don't like him. He's caused me too much emotional abuse in the past, but like not the fun kind of emotional abuse, where it's like catty and iconic. So maybe I'm just a misandrist for saying that though. If we had like a yassified Resetti, maybe I'd feel a little bit different. That might be the title of of the YouTube video when I upload it. It's like yassified Resetti. But we'll see. Rover. I'll put Rover kind of in the bottom end of iconic because again, like I put him kind of lower in the New Horizons tier list just because again it was kind of a missed opportunity, but I think as a whole, it's kind of hard to deny that he's iconic. So Sahara, when I look at sort of the overall scale of the series, I'll kind of put her in the top end of meh. Mostly because like not all of the wallpapers and fleurs are winners, and because you don't see her as often in previous games as you do in New Horizons, it means you get flops a lot more. And for me that's not a vibe. So I'm gonna put her in meh. For like an overall score, I'll put her in meh. But she does have a character improvement arc for me anyway in New Horizons, and that's all I will say on her. Get her out of here. Um, I don't remember this character's name, but basically, if you throw, I know that there's like a fountain. So this character is in. I know for sure they're in the GameCube version, and they're in City Folk. So in City Folk, if you throw enough stuff into the fountain, it's basically the myth of the golden axe. I don't know if anybody knows that, where I mean, she'll just give you a golden axe. Basically, it's like somebody is like I believe the myth is they drop their axe into like this pond or this lake or whatever. Which like in the GameCube version, this character is like in a pond instead. I'm pretty sure. And this lady comes out of the lake, just like, oh, you dropped something in here, and it's basically like if he's honest about like the axe that because she brings out a golden axe and is like, is this the axe you dropped? And if you're honest about it, then like she'll give you the golden axe. She's like, thanks for not lying to me. Here, have this one. And if you lie to her and say like, oh yeah, that's mine, she's like, you fucking liar. Like, I know which one you dropped in here. I was just testing you and you failed. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. So I think because she is like one of the more mystical characters in the series because of that, I'll put her sort of in high cute, but again, because she doesn't show up enough in the games for me to like care, it's kind of hard for me to put her higher than cute. But she is a fun character, and she's like relatively inoffensive too, I think anyway. So Timmy and Tommy, I'll also put them in cute. I was sort of thinking about putting them iconic, looking at like the full scale of the series, but like when I kind of realized that they've spent more of the games running the shop by themselves than being like their dad's helpers, it kind of demotes them a little bit for me. But that's just like my personal opinion. Tortimer, iconic, easy peasy. Tom Nook, I'll put Tom Nook in the lower end of iconic, personally. Is that controversial? I know some people really don't like this character. I like the memes around him too much for me to like sincerely hate him. But I do like how he was like more outwardly conniving in the earlier games than he is like in the current games, because now he's more of like an honest kind of like upstanding businessman that still kind of traps you into, you know, weird deals. But like I think in New Horizons though, like there isn't really, he doesn't do anything bad to you because like you signed up for the island package, so like you knew ahead of time that it was going to cost money, I'm pretty sure. So you can't be mad at him in this one. Like he tells you up front that like, hey, I know you're a broke bitch with expensive taste, alright? You did this to yourself. I don't remember his name. I don't really like him though, because he kind of just gives me sloppy furniture all the time. Like I know he's like the in Pocket Camp, he's like the one that gives you wait, was it Pocket Camp? I'm trying to remember which one where like there's like a rotating RVs, because it could be Pocket Camp, but it could also be the New Leaf update that gives you like a rotating special characters lists of campers that will give you special items that you can buy. That might be New Leaf and not I mean, I guess it could be in both, because again, like the New Leaf update was sort of for Pocket Camp, because that's when they like added the campground in that way. So that's where I know him from, and I just think all the furniture he gives you is kind of crap. That's just my opinion. It's just not my aesthetic. So I think everyone's trying to make like a little bit more of like a messy core kind of vibe, then I would be all right with it. But because I'm not, they're in meh. Zipper will also be in meh, but I think they'll be sort of upper meh, because again, I still kind of like how weird they are. Oh my god. So, backstory. There's Kitty and, is it Kitty and Katie? So they're like, so these two characters, they're like a mom and a daughter. The daughter always runs away from home. and gets lost. So you basically have to find her and like return her to her mom. I think it's such a cute event. Um, they shut it down when they turned off live service, basically like Nintendo Wi-Fi connection on the DS and like on the 3DS, so you can't access these characters anymore, which sucks. Um, but so when you meet Katie, is it Katie or Kitty? This is really bad that I watch them like not even be like, no, you know what? I think it's Caitlin. Hang on. I'm trying to remember like which one's the mom and which one's okay. So Caitlin is the mom. Kate. Okay, now I was right. Okay, so Caitlin is the mom, and Katie is the daughter. Well, so canonically in New Leaf, there's like time has progressed since like Wild World and City Folk era. So Katie is like grown up now. So she's just like an abroad girly, and she just needs help returning to the train station. I think it's really cute that they have like that kind of like character progression for her. So because of that, I would defend her honor on live television, and I think her mom is so her mom is very well intentioned. She's just out here to like take care of her stupid ass kid that keeps running away. Um, I would defend her honor on live TV too. Maybe not as high as like you know what I'm gonna be rude and separate the mom from her daughter. But I don't know that I put her as high on would defend their honor. But like she's doing her best, so I love that for her. Hang on, I'm trying to remember. Did I put because I want to keep that same energy? Did I put Katrina and would defend their honor on live television on the last list, or did I put them lower? No, I put them on iconic. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm staying consistent. Um, but yeah, I will put you in the top of iconic because again, chaotic bestie. I love that she can just straight up curse you. uh, Alright, same with Kix. Kix is gonna be like in a similar situation. I would die to defend his honor. He's great. His introduction in City Folk was so good. I love City Folk. That's the thing. Like, it's frustrating that City Folk is frustrating to play because I like the aesthetic of like the city part of the game, I guess. Because it takes you to this like separate area that has all like these like stores and all these things you can do, and you get to like run into animals that like aren't in your town. I thought it was a cool feature. I kind of wish it could come back in some way, but I understand why it doesn't because you know City Folk that's like for its specific game. But if they want to do a similar version of it, I guess they kind of do with Happy Home Paradise, but because it's just a lot of people at the resort, but I don't know. It's not exactly the same. Um, in similar fashion, I would also die for Leaf. Easy peasy. Okay, so let's talk. I don't really think about. So I don't remember if they're Captain's family, like direct family, or if they're just like kind of related, or if they're not even related at all. I'm just like profiling them as like because they're the same species of Kappa. Um, I think I can understand why some people might think like the daughter is cute. I just find her super annoying. So I kind of want to be on. Ooh, is this bad? Is it bad if I put her and throw her away? She can be with her mom. How about that? I don't hate the mom that much, but like she's just kind of pointless to me. I don't know. Like Cap'n can stay. I know that's kind of bad, but like Cap'n's iconic. He's been in more games. I'm sorry. He's had more time to prove himself. This kid is just super annoying to me. um okay, so I know I said I don't know her is for characters that I don't recognize, but um so even though I know Lottie, she's still kind of an I don't know her territory. Just for me, personally. You know, let's get the I don't know hers out of the way actually before we get going. I don't know her. I don't know her. I know this is just Tortimer in like a separate outfit, but I still don't know her. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put the grandma here too. Alright. I'm so sorry to this man's family. Um, Gulliver. Gulliver is kind of at the top end of meh for me. Again, I don't really love the whole having to do trivia questions or having to hunt for, like, scavenge for trucker parts or whatever. I just think that that's kind of annoying. So I've never been like a super big fan. On top of the fact that like the items that he gives you, they're essentially just like, you know, world monuments or whatever. I don't really have ever a place on my island to put them. So for me, he's just I don't get like a use out of his character. So I'm gonna put him there. Isabel, obviously gonna be at the top. Queen. I'll put you in meh. I put you in cute in like the New Horizons one because like the event was fun, but as a whole, you're kind of meh to me. Harriet, iconic, wig. Wait, was Harriet not on this list? That's sacrilege. How could they forget Harriet? She was in the update too. What the fuck? Okay, well, Harriet, she's gonna have like the ranking that I'd put her on the New Horizons list because when they added her back, I thought she was great. I'll put her a little bit above the mom, I guess, but I think she's great, and we love that she is getting better at ethnic hairstyles. I get that's such a weird thing to say, but like but I mean I don't know. It's again, it's nice that we get to see a little bit more hair diversity. So the fact that she's able to sort of grow in that way and be a little bit more helpful. I still wish on the campsite she kept giving haircuts instead of just walking around, but I understand why. Like she kind of loses the point if you can just change your hair by going to the mirror moving forward. It's definitely like more intuitive than it was in previous games where you'd have to pay, and then like if you do the questionnaire wrong, you're stuck with that hair. I'll put you in cute because you were fine on like in like the past toy days. I just didn't like you in New Horizons. I mean, obviously he's iconic. Joan, I will put in okay, controversial. I'll put her sort of on the low end of cute, just because I never really got into sort of like the radish market kind of thing until New Horizons. So because of that, I was kind of annoyed whenever she showed up in my town. Ooh, if I'm annoyed by somebody, maybe they just belong in meh? I'll put them on the upper end of meh. How about that? Hopper and Booker, hang on. Obviously, I would die for them. My gay lovers. Hang on, let me. Okay, but here's the thing. Not when they're cops. When they're guarding the gate in Wild World, or where they're running the like the Lost and Found, like yes, but like as cops, no. We don't need cops in this world. There's no crime, and even then, like, I wouldn't want cops in my in my Animal Crossing fantasy because ACAB. So it's just keeping in mind they have different outfits in later games, but they're not always cops. Anyways, Brewster. That's such a weird tangent to go on, but Brewster. So here's the thing. I'll rank him higher in New Horizons because like just because I missed having him around. But like as a whole, I don't drink coffee that much in the game for it to be kind of noticeable. So I guess he'll just sit there in iconic. I'm gonna put all the OK Motors guys in meh. Just because I guess I'll put you higher because you're short and you're a short king. But I kind of fell off with Pocket Camp, and then even when I was playing it, I didn't really do that much with my RV. I didn't customize it that much, so because of that, I didn't really interact with those characters enough to care about them. But I don't hate them, so I'll just put them in meh. Celeste is still my fave, so you get to go up here. Avi. So this is CJ's dad. right? I'm pretty sure that's CJ's dad. Um, you still get to be in map. I'll put you above like the turn. You know, I'll put you here because again, I still liked fishing. I just didn't play with it a lot. But you're CJ's dad, and I'm assuming you're a supportive parent, so we love an ally. So I won't put you like too low. Isabel's brother is cute, but I didn't really interact with him a whole lot. So it's kind of whatever. Same with Gyroid. I like the Gyroids, but as far as like that character is concerned, like I just kind of associate them with like the public works projects and building bridges. And because of that, like I just look at them as like you're taking my money. So I don't think super fondly of them, but I do think the gyroids in general are cute. So I'm using them as like sort of like a catch-all for all of the gyroids in the game. So I'll put them at like the lower end of cute, maybe sort of skirting meh territory for me. Arv is like a solid meh for me. Blathers is upper end iconic, I'll say that. Actually, no, as a whole, I would defend his honor. He is trying his best. He is like the only one that is taking care of this entire museum. He hates bugs, but he still handles them with care. He's a real one. I'll put him in would defend his honor on live television. Wisp, I would also defend their honor pretty seriously. They're just so cute. I think they're like a little bit cuter in New Horizons, but like I'll still put them pretty high up. You know, I'll put you higher because again, you are doing Lord's work in this small town. Okay, so is it Blanca? She's the April Fool's character. So here's the thing. I liked her in Wild World because you could just draw on her face, and I was kind of hoping that that's it. So like obviously I would always draw stupid shit, but in New Leaf, I hated her event in New Leaf. I hated her just pranking me and shit. It made April Fool's my least favorite event in that game. So I'm putting her at the bottom of Throw Her Away. I'm really sorry. Also, do I really have to start this playlist again? I guess we're almost done with these and I'll call it, but I'd still like to have music going. So maybe we'll do a different. I'll just do like my regular lo-fi playlist. How about that? Maybe I should have done that like instead of just replaying this one that we were already listening to. But I'll play the one that I just normally play. Nope, not this one. Hello. Don't mind me just changing music. Yeah, this one I've never gotten yelled at for. Like I didn't get like a notification about like, oh, we have to mute audio portions of your stream. So I'm assuming this one's still okay. But I use this one a lot, so that's why I'm kind of hesitant to keep using it, because like I just use it so much. All right, but let's finish up this tier list though, because we're getting there. Oops, wrong one. And it's like almost midnight anyway, which is like I streamed a lot longer than I thought I would. I'm not complaining, but because again, I was really worried that I wasn't gonna have enough stuff to do tonight. Favorite Animal Crossing game? Ooh, I'm really between New Leaf and New Horizons. I think I like the music in New Leaf a little bit more. But I like being able to customize your islands a lot in New Horizons. So it's a pretty even split between the two. If I have to pick one, I'll say New Horizons, but it would be like very hesitantly. Ooh, I don't know her. I know they're actually no, is that like Resetti's family member that's like the chill one? Okay, maybe you're okay. I'll put you in math, but I don't really think about you that much. Oh, this is the guy that gives you emotes in like the original games. I don't really like him. I think like the stand-up sets he does in City Folk. Does he do them in City Folk or does he only do them in New Leaf? I don't know, I just remember them kind of being like painfully unfunny, so I'm gonna put him in the bottom of meh, but he's not like incredibly offensive. Um, then there's like the chef. You're fine, but you're still meh for me. Yeah, that seems like a good place for you. And then Gracie Grace to finish off her list. Iconic. I think the general trend is kind of just like I really like the bitchy characters in this game. Um, I'm really sad that this character didn't make a return in New Horizons, and they just gave LaBelle the same job. Um, it sucks. I know like she still is like kind of implied to still exist, but I don't know. It's just not the same. I liked like the little car that she drove around in, and she's just like judging how you dress, and all of her clothes are super expensive because she's like a designer and shit. Um, I don't know. I just really like that character. I that's kind of like the main. That's one of the main things that's holding back New Horizons for me. Is just like it gets rid of so many good characters that we've fallen in love with throughout the years. But that being said, that's my tier list for this all of the special characters, um, excluding New Horizons, because this list is I think only goes up to Pocket. I guess it only goes up to Pocket Camp. All right. So in conclusion, I love Animal Crossing. I think you could probably gather that from the fact that I've talked about this for almost 2 hours. I know there was like a bit in the beginning where I wasn't talking about it and I was just kind of going off about my day and things being kind of weird tech wise, but kind of just bringing it around. And ultimately, this was nice. This was the stream that I was like the most anxious about because, like, again, it was sort of a decision at the last minute to like not do not do Bridgerton basically. On top of just worrying that I couldn't start the stream on time because of the whole Streamlabs crashing 3 times in a row part, which is super annoying. Um, but I'm glad it turned out well, and I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it actually. I wasn't sure that like this was gonna be fun. Um, Not because I don't like doing tier lists. I definitely do. I just always worry that like because when I did like the BuzzFeed quiz stream, I was just sort of it felt like I wasn't being engaging enough. I was just clicking on stuff and then being done. So I was worried that the tier list I wasn't going to be able to like talk through my thought process with it, and let my personality come out a little bit more. Um, so I'm glad that I was able to sort of prove myself wrong with this because I just really like Animal Crossing. um, and I was able to get a longer stream out of it. I think sort of my more recent streams have been shorter, um, which like there's nothing wrong with like a short stream because I think in general I don't like going longer than like an hour and a half for at least like the talking portion. I have to be doing something else, but this kind of just flew by, so I'm pretty happy with it. Um, I'm not sure if anyone's noticed sort of a change in video quality. I'm hoping the YouTube upload at least conveys it, because I really want this to look fun.